Hi there guys, it's Sue here from Elixir. We're taking a little break to go and have lunch by the ocean. We're so lucky that we can do that. So I thought I might take the chance to shoot a quick live video. What I want to talk about is this real difficulty that we're talking to a lot of people at the moment around trying to make change in your business, trying to make decisions about what you're going to do moving forward when there's still so much uncertainty about certain elements. And this really came to mind, it really hit home for me. Last week I got a phone call from an advisor who was actually reading my book, Worth Paying For, and he rang me because he was really annoyed, frustrated, probably scared is a good word. And he said to me that how awful is it at the moment that ASIC have just come out and they made a public statement, and it was in the news about when the LIF review happens in 2021, they want to get rid of risk commissions altogether. And this advisor was saying that that piece of news had been published, and immediately overnight the value of risk books was completely decimated, and within 24 hours he'd heard that the banks weren't lending against risk books anymore and how awful it is for these poor people in business. And I was just gobsmacked. I was just saying, wait, no, hang on, tell me exactly what news article? I hadn't even seen that. What do you mean the banks aren't lending? And I was clarifying. I said, are you sure you're not talking about grandfathered investment commissions? And he said, no, this is definitely about risk because it's all around the review date for the life insurance reforms. So of course that, I lost my mind for a moment going, how did I not know this had happened? Got all the facts from him as he thought they were, and he was absolutely adamant that this had happened. And he was talking about the fact that he'd been talking to lots of advisors who this was happening to, and people were really upset about this. So I got on the phone to Ellie who heads up lending at Macquarie Bank for financial advisors, and he said, no, we've not heard anything like that. We're absolutely still lending. Between us, I think we figured out the only thing that was close was that we know ASIC have come out and said that they will be reviewing the effectiveness of the life insurance reforms in 2021. And of course, since that, I now know that the AFA and the FPA are working together to lobby to government about a consolidated, consistent view from the advice fraternity around how we shouldn't mess any further with the LIF changes as they are now. I know that all of the insurers are working together to have a consolidated voice and a consistent view to government. So the reality is that there was no such statement publicly made by ASIC. It was not true that the banks have suddenly got out of lending. Ellie was saying that they are seeing a slight softening of the value of books. While risk books were sold for 3.5 times not that long ago, we're now seeing high 2s, low 3s. But he said they're absolutely still lending against them. He knows there are quite a lot of his clients that are still looking to buy them. They're just not looking to pay in the 3.5 range. They're looking at paying high 2s, low 3s. So what's the point of this story? Number one is I want to really correct that view if anybody else out there is losing sleep over this, because it's not true. But secondly, it really makes me think about the conversations we're having every day with advisors, because when you stop and start looking at what is happening in your business and trying to put your business plan together for next year and beyond, there are some serious decisions that you start needing to make. So one is about how you're going to approach the loss of grandfathered investment commissions. So if you've got some of that revenue in your client base, what are you going to do about getting in touch with those clients and trying to re-engage them for the future? And when we talk about that future, are we going to be looking at 12-month service agreements, or are we not? We know that that's been proposed, and we don't know if that legislation has come in yet. We know that you need to move them to a fee-based model, and that it's really important that you understand how you're going to charge those fees, because your costs of business, and as I talked about yesterday, your chargeable time when you're going to be going back and doing some study are probably going to be very different moving forward than what they were. But even around making decisions on how you charge for your services and what kind of structure that you have, not knowing what the long-term future looks like. If it does happen that insurance commissions are changed even further, what does that mean to you? My best advice to that is that you can make decisions in your business today around the information that we have now and the legislation and the rules that are in place now, and obviously keeping an ear out with what's going to happen with the election, with any future changes. But that shouldn't stop you from stopping and making some conscious decisions about your business. So whatever you're going to implement now, you want to keep in mind what's happening. You also want to make sure that you have factual information about what is and isn't coming through in legislation and changes that are happening. So don't be listening to people that might be talking about stories that aren't necessarily true. Make sure that you're getting your information from the right places. But you also want to have one eye on the future. So I know a lot of businesses at the moment, when it comes to pricing risk especially, they are looking at introducing an advice fee in cooperation with taking the hybrid commissions. Because we know from January the upfronts are going to drop to 60%. And for a lot of businesses, that is not going to be enough revenue to cover the cost of them doing this business. So I know a lot of advisors are looking to introduce some of these new techniques in their business, and wherever possible, they are perhaps even removing commissions and charging a fee to a client without any reliance on commissions at all. And the ones that are doing that are saying that they want to do it from a confidence perspective, starting to introduce these techniques in their business and see what happens with the conversations with clients. Because if it does happen in future that this might be a bigger issue for them, they're going to have a little bit of practice and a little bit of confidence in it. But it's also allowing them to try some different models, see the client feedback that they're getting, and then look at the ramifications that that's going to have in their business. So please, by all means, do not let the unrest at the moment stop you from making good, conscious decisions about how you're going to change your business moving forward. Some of the decisions you might make might be in a moving environment. So it might be that you're going to try a few things in case of future changes, but where it's going to have a significant impact on the future of your business. If I were to look back now and say to you 3 years ago, think about what might happen if these grandfathered commissions get switched off, you might have made some different decisions to what you did if you were just thinking, no, that could never possibly happen. So get advice from the right people, talk to people that know what's happening, think about what is definitely in place at the moment to implement those changes with one eye on the future of what you might need to learn and get better at in the coming years ahead. But by all means, make a plan, get on top of it for next financial year so you can start moving forward. You might already know we've got the Business Evolution Blitz happening in a couple of weeks' time. So we're taking registrations now for people so we can help you do your business planning and do your pricing in a really good, cost-effective way. If you want to check that out, you can go to elixirblitz.com, ELIXIR blitz.com. We're more than happy to help you. But please, otherwise, there is a positive future for advice businesses. Make sure you're getting your information from the right place, and for goodness sake, move forward with an eye on the future. Best of luck.